live stream was not canceled at the last minute. Huzzah! How excellent! I'm sorry that happened last week. Last week was crazy. I'll just give you a little bit more of an explanation. Hi everybody, it's so great to see all of you. I'm going to move the shout outs to the end of the video. I think that worked out really well. At the end of the whole thing, if you want to stick around for some shout outs, we'll do it at the very, very end after the Ask Me Anything section. Although, hi Scott in Scotland, I gotta shout that out. But anyway, sometimes what happens to me with my schedule is that, you know, with the pandemic, it's a little hard sometimes, as I'm sure all of you have experienced. So sometimes I'll get a little down at night. It's particularly difficult for me at night. And so I'll stay up way too late. I'm like, I'll cheer myself up with a comic book or a show, or I'll get like stuck in a streaming circle, you know? So what I do is I stay up too late and then I don't get up on time and it just ruins my schedule. And that's kind of what happens. So I apologize about that. This is a new week. I had a bad start. Every day is a new day. But I had a really difficult time this morning. Well, it wasn't difficult, but I stayed up so late doing the WandaVision coverage last night. So that kind of messed up today. Although I did react to the Croods. I filmed it just before we went live. I didn't want to make you guys wait any longer. And we had enough of a rocky time last week with the streams. So I'm going to post that reaction right after this. And also you guys can't watch it because you're in the stream. Keith says I'm up till 2 a.m. every night. Yeah, me too, Keith. That's about the time. That's magic hour for me too. I had a calming app, which maybe I should use again. Maybe that was working. I like to listen to a calming app that has like some ambient noises of rain. That's pretty good. Maybe I should use that again. Am I still paying for it? I might have discontinued it. But anyway, I also like to listen to Johann Strauss II, like classical music. Maybe I'll try that again. But it's really hard. I just have a very hard time. Ingrid says, I go to bed at 4 a.m. Yeah, I'm glad, I don't always like sharing personal information, but I think sometimes it's good because, it's good to know other people are going through the same thing. Lisa says I was up because of noisy neighbors. That's the worst, Lisa. That makes me so mad. I hate that stuff so much, but you don't want to get into a fight with your neighbors either. But yeah, I posted the video for WandaVision, the breakdown, at 1 a.m. And then, although that's when I finished the video, so I still have my makeup to take off. I have to get ready for bed, take a shower. There's always stuff to do. I gotta tell you, also because I spend more time at home, I have so much more stuff to do at the house. I don't know if you guys are having this, but I run the dishwasher a whole lot more. I have to empty it all. I'm like, this dishwasher needs to be emptied like all the time. I got to put all that stuff away. I have to do laundries. It's just like a lot of upkeep. And usually I'm running around all over the place outside. And so I don't do that much stuff at home. But now that Kiri says I need to clean a lot more. And Carrie's talking about endless dishes. Yeah, it's just nuts. And I agree with Rainbow Nomad. I'm like, why am I doing so much laundry? I'm doing like a laundry a freaking day. It's too much laundry. I don't want to do, that's the other thing. I'm like, I did too much cleaning today. I just need to relax. Although Scott's like, I'm doing a laundry right now. That's fantastic. Oh, the dishwasher. That's great. But yeah, it's like really, really crazy. Dancing Dog says, my cat is tired of me. That's funny. I saw a lot of stuff when the pandemic started. The pets were like, it's so great that you're home so much. I love it. And now they're probably like, do you ever leave? And you're like, no, not for another year. Get used to it. Also, like the news that this was going to go on for like another year is like, that threw me for a bit of a loop last week emotionally. I was like, how long is this going to go on for? Like when I first went into lockdown in my apartment, I thought this would only be for like 3 or 4 months. I was like, we can do it. It's only going to be the summer. But now I'm like, what? And you're going to affect Christmas, like my favorite time of year? And I'm like, when am I ever going to go on vacation again? I've been talking to my family about it. And we're like, let's do 2 weeks in Disney World when this is all over. Because I don't think that I'm going to be able to go on vacation until 2022 maybe, or late, like for a year from now minimum. And that's just shocking to me. I didn't go on a vacation last year because this was supposed to be my family's big vacation year. And look what happened. Like this was supposed to be the big year, so we didn't do anything last year. And so that's going to be like 3 years without a vacation. Sharon's planning a second honeymoon. That's lovely. Hey, Jeffrey Lou. If you join during the stream, I always give you a shout out. Dancing Dog 60, I'm sorry that you work and travel. I hope things are okay for you. Austin, I'm glad you felt safe at Disney World, but if you're local in Florida, then it's probably good for you. But for me to have to go to the airport, be on a plane, stay in a hotel, I just get very nervous about that. but I mean, like, I just, so all this stuff's been a little bit difficult for me. We'll see what happens this week. It's going to be a very slow news week because, like, this is a weird week where, like, there's nothing to review. Like, no series come out. Enola Holmes starts on Wednesday, but Netflix lifted that embargo ridiculously early. So I'll be looking for stuff to cover. Hopefully there's some news that breaks. If you have anything you'd like to see, give me a suggestion. I can't always take everybody's. Don't send it to me here. I'm not going to see everything, but you can tweet it to me. But I don't always cover, just because, to be honest with you, sometimes you guys have suggestions that are fun, but wouldn't do particularly well as a video. But, if you want to throw it out there, Sufjan's like, go back to the boys. I don't know if you'd like what I have to say, quite frankly. I don't know. Bethany says, take time off. I don't know, Bethany. Sometimes when I take time off, I'm like all excited about it. And then I'm like, oh, nothing happened. But I think my goal I didn't really do anything, especially because I can't go anywhere because of this pandemic. I think that, like, my goal this week is to, like, go to sleep on time and get up on time. That's my goal. All right, so let's get to today's live stream. Thank you for joining me. We're going to have a great time. All right, so let me see if I can put this window into the live stream. I don't think I can do it, but I'm going to try. All right, so window capture. Let's see if I can capture it. I don't think it works. Yep, still doesn't work. This OBS streaming system sucks. So let me give you the link if you want to play along with me. If you want to play along, here you go. So, boop. Let me do the thing. All right, so Emmys takes up 2 slots today because it's such a long discussion. So let's do it that way. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Back-to-back boops. All right, so last night, the Emmys aired. Hey, Andrew Farley Cornejo, thank you for joining. You guys can comment during this, obviously. I'll look at your comments while I'm talking so we can keep this interactive. But anyway, last night were the Emmys. And I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself. My will win, should win video was pretty factual. I got most of them right. A couple of times it was like who I thought should win. So that made it very satisfying that, a lot of fan favorites ended up winning when usually we don't win, right? But although I have to say, I don't think any of the shows that were celebrated last night did particularly well in the ratings. I think a lot of people watched last night's Emmys and were like, maybe I should watch those shows. I've seen Watchmen and Succession. I started Schitt's Creek, but I didn't finish it. So I have to get on that. And I know a lot of you really recommend Euphoria. Euphoria, even though I am an adult, seems a bit too adult for me personally, but I'm so happy for Zendaya. We'll talk about her in a moment. But I think because the shows aren't that big, the Emmys didn't actually do that well in the ratings. It's, in fact, I think the lowest rated Emmys of all time. And it had about 6.1 million people tune in. And just to give you some idea, there are about 300 million or more, like 330 million people in the United States. So that's like nobody watched. Nobody cared to watch. It was going up against an extreme amount of sports programming, both football and basketball. So I think that's part of the problem that it had. But anyway, I thought it was fun. I liked the pandemic aspect to it. I thought it was cute, and I thought it paid off. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think that he did a great job. Although that's funny, Matt thought he was fantastic. So, it just depends who's your cup of tea. I didn't think he was, like, unwatchable. He just wasn't, personally my favorite. I was so happy for Zendaya. We'll talk about her just first really quickly. I thought that Zendaya, you can see her picture there in the second box on the upper left. She looked fantastic. Her styling, someone did a article I saw a week or so ago about how she and Bella Thorne started out on the same show on what was it, Nickelodeon, right, or something, or the Disney Channel, one of those kids shows, and they have certainly taken different paths. But Zendaya, she just looked so elegant. Her styling, her team who puts her together, it was on Disney. Her stylist, her whole team just does such a phenomenal job. She looks like a real Disney princess. I'm just very happy for her. I think that she has a great career path. I think she is just, it's been a long time since we've seen an actress do such a perfect job. Like such a perfect job. And she apparently turns down a lot of roles, like a lot of big roles. Like I saw a rumor online that she was, I don't know if I can't confirm this, but she said she turned down The Little Mermaid and Tinkerbell. And I have to say, I think she would have been a great Little Mermaid and a great Tinkerbell. I think she's trying to avoid any more race-bending controversy because she already did Mary Jane Watson. And I can understand that. Her hair in this, when she accepted her Emmys, looks so Tinkerbell. But I think that she probably wants to now forge her own path and play new roles. She's in Dune, which is an incredibly hot project. She did this Malcolm and Marie movie that Netflix just bought that she produced and helped come up with. I'm very, very happy for her. I think if you want a model of someone who's just doing everything right, it would definitely be Zendaya. Chris says she said she wanted darker-skinned actresses to get the roles. I don't know if it's for those roles specifically, because Halle Bailey I don't think is considerably darker. I do think colorism in Hollywood, I will speak out against it every chance I get. I have a real problem with it. I think that the way that John David Washington is lit in one second here. The way that he's lit in Tenet is just absolutely horrible. I think that's really, really bad. I think the way that Lashana Lynch is lit in the upcoming No Time to Die movie is ridiculous. I mean, you should be able to see your actors, and cinematographers need to frickin' learn how to light for people of different skin colors on the screen at the same time. I just am very upset about it. So I believe that's why colorism exists, because Hollywood thinks it's too difficult. Lupita Nyong'o really suffers from this, and it's disgusting because she's so talented, such a talented actress. I've said many times that Lupita Nyong'o is like the next Meryl Streep. I feel she has that transformative ability. And so I feel like cinematographers just have to do their damn job. It's just very frustrating to me. All right, so Zendaya won. There was a little bit of a funny snafu. I don't know if you saw this online. The New York Post ran a tweet that said that she was an upset win because nobody expected her to win. As one of you remembered and tweeted me, I was so happy that you remembered. I predicted that she would win because I felt that everybody else had already been lauded a whole lot. I think Zendaya, everyone likes a fresh face in Hollywood because it creates new, exciting work. So someone said that she was an upset. The New York Post said she was an upset win. Thank you, Waffles. Thank you for remembering that as well. And it was just nuts. It was crazy. They were like, why does it make you upset? And it's like, that's a term that's been used for winning. When a surprise person wins, you would say a dark horse, but then you're like, what if people get upset about saying that? I mean, I think that Twitter and social media have almost reached like a tipping point into ridiculousness where you're like, guys, you gotta stop this. Like, people are just so knee-jerk and they don't know enough. Like, it's really insane. Like, I think that it's also the fault of society for not getting this terminology out there and educating people. But but I would think upset was like a really well-known term. I mean, that's used in sports. I saw some people point out. It was just really, really weird. I can see why some of you quit Twitter. I've not been enjoying it myself either. But I think that every time I have a bad time, I also have a good time. So I do think it has become digital hell, Tariq. That's pretty funny. But I feel like I think that Twitter should clean it up. I think that they're getting to the point where they're kind of culpable for just the horrible disaster that they've created. Hopefully we'll have a change in November, and I think that might go a long way into changing some of the negativity that exists out there. Now, before we get to the actual winners and go over them, I just want to say that I also felt it was wonderful that so many actors of color won. I thought that was fantastic. And this is what was particularly fantastic about it, okay? I love the fact that it wasn't tokenism. I saw a couple of people accuse it of that, and it couldn't be further from the truth. What was so fantastic was that it showed that if you write great roles for people of color, there are wonderful actors just waiting for them, and then they will be recognized because they were great. I mean, I think that this wasn't a year of recognizing actors of color just because it's the thing to do. It was recognizing finally great roles that finally existed. I mean, I was really happy with the winners. All right, so let's go through those winners, all right? And share your thoughts, of course, as we do. Alrighty. Twitter is, I spend so much time on Twitter. I gotta tell you, it's where everybody is. It's where the party's at. I like to be where the party is. Okay, all right. Also, after I said Kelly Marie Tran should never quit Twitter, although now I understand it more than ever, I certainly, I have to be an example. You just can't let somebody chase you off of a platform because that's what they want. Then they would win. All right, so anyway, Let's go. Hey, MMB. I like your avatar. That's fantastic. All right. Only 24% of America is on Twitter? I believe that. But it's still where the party's happening. That's where everybody's talking about stuff. All right, so let's get to these winners. All right, so they actually have drama first, even though comedy started the night off, and it was all for Schitt's Creek. I tweeted out a good joke that a friend actually gave me, and it was, this is a real shit show. That was hilarious. That was great. Scott, I know you're on here, so I thought that was great. All right, so it's froze for me for just a second. Is the video okay? Come on, Twitter. I know that I can still see that the chat is moving. Let me refresh it. I have like the fastest internet known to man. Is it okay now? Oh, video is fine. It's just frozen for me. Okay. All right. Let's go through this. Stupid Twitter. All right. So, drama series. Succession. I'm so happy that it won. I love Succession. It's so great. It's the best show ever. If you don't watch Succession, you should watch it. It's so good. It's like one of the best shows I've ever seen about business. My evolution of business shows went from Suits to Billions to Succession. And every time I would go to the next show, I'd be like, I can't believe I watched that show before. It was for babies. So yeah, so I started with Suits, then I went to Billions. I still watch Billions. And now I watch Succession. It's so good. All right, so that one, Best Drama Series. It beat out Ozark, which I said was the other one that could potentially win. And I feel bad for Ozark because it's such a good show. But next year, Ozark, well, if it comes out, I don't know when Ozark Season 4 will come out because of the pandemic. But Season 4, probably for Ozark, you'll see a bunch of wins across the board because it'll be the last chance to do so. But speaking of Ozark, Julia Garner picked up another Emmy for supporting actress in a drama series. I didn't think she would win because she just won. And they think she's that good. She is really good. But so, I mean, I think I don't know why she needs bookends, but she's got them. Then, supporting actor in a drama series, The Morning Show got recognized here for Billy Crudup. I was very happy for Billy Crudup. I think he's fantastic on The Morning Show. I never finished it, but when I saw him, he did a really nice job. So I was very happy for Billy Crudup for picking this up. He, of course, plays an executive. You do know how I love business. So I really liked his character of what I saw. Then outstanding directing for a drama series went to Succession. And then so did writing for a drama series because it's just such a good show. Then lead actress in a drama series was Zendaya, and everybody was so happy. She trended like #1 all night. It was just everything, the stars aligned perfectly because she is the star. And then lead actor in a drama, Jeremy Strong for Succession. I was so happy that he got that. He's next to her in my pictures there. But I have to say, he has a ridiculous outfit on. Like, I guess there was nobody at home to tell him that he looked bad, but he should have, like, I don't know. He should have checked with somebody and been like, what do you think of this little tie that I have? And I'd be like, don't do it. That's right, Felipe. I did call them. Thank you very much. I did call both these wins. So I was very happy for Jeremy Strong. He's so good on that show. Especially the emotional roller coaster that his character is on. He does look like a Bond villain, Mika. That's pretty funny. So that was great. The competition program, RuPaul's Drag Race. Fantastic. Great show. By the way, speaking of reality shows, Amazing Race is starting again soon. I'm so excited. It's my favorite reality show. All right, I like that. I'm done with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So this is it. I just have $1 Million Listing Los Angeles and Amazing Race because I'm pretty upset about what happened with Denise Richards. All right, so next up, limited series, Watchmen. Yay! I'm so happy that it won. There's Damon Lindelof accepting the award in the top frame on the bottom. And I have to say, even this morning, they had an interview with the head of HBO, and they were like, hey, are you going to make another Watchmen now? And he was like, Damon Lindelof still won't agree to it. And so you're like, what? Although they did say that Damon Lindelof is currently renegotiating his contract. So I suspect that that's really what's happening. And now Damon Lindelof really has something else to do. Because, talk about something to negotiate with. To say, do you want another of the Emmy-winning hit show? And they'll be like, oh, right, how much do you want, Lindelof? I don't think they should make it without Lindelof. I think he's the first person I've seen recapture the spirit of Watchmen from the Alan Moore comic correctly. So I would not want to do it without him. They did say it would feature totally different characters, which I think is bullshit. And I do not want that to happen. If Watchmen continued, do you think it should be the same characters? Like, I have to know what happened. I mean, I don't want any of this, like, you can come up with your own ending. I want to know what happened when she ate the egg. So what do you guys think? Should it be new characters, or do you think it should be the same? I swore because it was that necessary. Dallas says, I don't know, Grace. But you guys agree. It's got to be the same. Like, why would I want to have that without Regina King? Right? Hey, Zatara. That's a nice name. All right. So, yeah, Braden, they can bring in new characters. You know, Scott said a mixture. Oh, yeah, it's totally cool to have some new characters, but you got to keep the ones that we have that are good. I mean, they did kill off a lot of them by the end of the season, so they'll have like a decent new chunk to come in. All right, so next up, supporting actress in a limited series was Uzo Aduba from Mrs. America. She played Shirley Chisholm, who I didn't know was actually the first woman to ever run for president. Run in a primary, the Democratic primary. And I was pretty upset that my history classes never taught me this. So I thought that she did a great job. And you pointed out that I did predict this as well. I thought she was just great. Supporting actor in a limited series or movie, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I'm so happy he won. He played Dr. Manhattan, and I was really happy. A lot of people were upset about the race change for the character, but that's right, Kyle. 2 Dr. Manhattans won last night because, of course, Billy Crudup played him in the Zack Snyder movie. But I just felt like Yahya Abdul-Mateen killed it in that role. I thought what they were saying with it and how it worked was just incredible. And I really, 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 really feel that not only did he deserve it because he was so talented. I missed his speech. I'll have to go watch it, Cecilia, because as soon as the WandaVision trailer debuted, it became like the Super Bowl, and I was out of there. I was like, see ya. So I missed the whole second half of the show, which I felt bad about. But I do think that he looked great, and I liked seeing everybody at home, too. I thought everybody zooming in was awesome because I liked seeing people's homes and how they felt they should dress up. I thought that was cute. But he was fantastic. I'm a big fan of him. I've liked him ever since I saw him in, what was it called? What was it? What was the name of it? It was with, Justice Smith debuted there. It was the Get Down. Thank you. It was from, the guy who did, boy, these people don't work enough. The guy, off the top of my head, the guy who did, Moulin Rouge, Baz Luhrmann. Yeah, it was really good. And I thought he really stood out to me, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, as a villain on that show. And I was like, that guy's going places. He's the best person on this show. And sure enough, he became Black Manta, and he's in Watchmen. Although Black Manta has yet to, I think, really realize the full potential of that character. I hope it gets better. All right, then next up, outstanding directing for a limited series, movie, or dramatic special. Boy, that's a lot of things in one category. Unorthodox, which is great. I love that series. And then outstanding writing was Watchmen. And then lead actor in a limited series or movie. I knew Mark Ruffalo would win, even though I didn't think that he should. And he did, because, you're playing twins. Everybody loves that. And he did do a nice job. But lead actress in a limited series was Regina King for Watchmen. She has so many awards. She's got an Oscar. She has several Emmys. She's just so talented, and I'm so happy that she won. Her sister, Midnight, was just phenomenal. Variety Talk series last week tonight with John Oliver. John Oliver always wins. I'm not at all surprised. Then comedy series. Comedy. It was as Scott texted me, a real shit show. Comedy series, Schitt's Creek won. It won Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Annie Murphy, the whole family won. Dan Levy for Best Supporting Actor. He also won for directing and writing. He was the Phoebe Waller-Bridge of last night's Emmys. He got 3 of them, and 4 because of the one best show. He really deserves it. I'm a big Dan Levy fan. I think he's really talented. And by the way, the other day I saw him do his first endorsement deal as a spokesperson, and I was very happy for him. Then also lead actor and lead actress in a comedy series, Catherine O'Hara, a huge comedic talent for so long, and the fact that she has never gotten an Emmy up until now or any awards is ridiculous. So I was so happy for her. It was just really wonderful to see. But I think that Schitt's Creek winning all the awards up front, because I think most people haven't seen that show, I think that also helped the Emmys drop off. I mean, they said they had a drop off of viewership. And so I think people were like, everything's going to Schitt's Creek. And, they just turned, and I think it created they kept going back to that party, which, was really smart of them. It ended up being to rent that room because they kept giving the Emmys out there. So that was really nice. I will finish Schitt's Creek. I'm a big fan of that show. I think it's really wonderful. All right, so that's the second and third stories of the day. Let's go to the next one. My videos, the video's fine for all of you, right? Yeah, for some reason, it's not working so well on my end, but as long as you guys can see it, that's all I care about. Everything's fine? Yeah? Okay, great. Yepers. That's funny, Michael. All right, so let's go to the third story of the day. Boop. All right, so Ms. Marvel, I think we're getting very close to a casting announcement. I've heard that this casting has been done for a while, but it hasn't leaked. I think the reason it hasn't leaked is because you're probably going to be obviously dealing with an unknown. So there's nothing to leak, right? I mean, people are going to get to see this actress, but they're probably not going to be familiar with her work because, unfortunately, there aren't a lot of roles for actors of Middle Eastern and East Asian descent, which is pretty horrible. For instance, one of the things I was going to talk about in the canceled stream is about how Rami Malek is finally getting a new movie where he's going to play an undercover FBI agent who is with terrorists, which I guess is a loophole in his role that, South Asian, sorry. So it's South Asian. All right, so, it's the idea that it's not going to be Naomi Scott. Who said that? Tariq, I don't think it's going to be Naomi Scott. They want someone younger. It's a teenage character. Hey, Miljan, thanks for joining. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, I think South Asian. It's not South Asian. South Asian. I gotta make sure I know this better. All right. So anyway, we want to see more representation from that overall region. And so Rami Malek, I guess, is getting around having to play a terrorist because he's an undercover terrorist. He's actually a good guy pretending to be a terrorist. So I felt bad. Although Sacha Baron Cohen played an Israeli spy in the Middle East on Spy on Netflix about a year or so ago, and it was so good. I mean, not enough people, I think, paid attention to that. So yeah, it's South Asian. Thank you guys for the correction. All right, so South Asian. Yeah, Pakistan, where Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, is from, is South Asian. All right, so let's see here. So we have the Middle East, India, and South Asia. That's the region. I think that's why, it's a huge swath, in terms of the continents. So I think that's kind of what makes it, difficult for the layman getting used to the terminology. But we must learn, because representation is very important. Yeah, I don't know why Mina Masood can't get any work. Does he really have a cookbook out? Good for him. Good for him. I think that, yeah, Barbie, Mina Masood, Disney has a responsibility to give him more work. Yeah, it's really hard out there. All right. So anyway, they're working very hard to get Muslim directors and people from the same area to make sure that this show is authentic. So they hired, it was revealed that they have one team of directors, but two other directors that have all been set for the show. So I have to tell you, in typing out my notes for this, autocorrect was ridiculous. And I'm kind of upset about autocorrect because, I'm like, I have to try and make sure I can say these names correctly, and autocorrect wasn't having it. So thanks a lot, autocorrect. I wish that I could turn it off. Autocorrect's been getting me in a lot of trouble on texting. It's ridiculous. It changes words without checking with me. And Twitter, it's really annoying. Has anyone noticed that Twitter is autocorrecting hashtags too? I tried to do J.K. Rowling, and they were like, no, I tried to do Robert Pattinson, and they said, and so Twitter said, R.I.P. J.K. Rowling. And I was like, how is that at all Robert Pattinson? What are you doing to me? And so I had to delete the tweet and put a new tweet up. I was like, thanks for nothing, Twitter. I guess, could I shut down autocorrect? Maybe. I'll look into it. But it was pretty annoyed. Yeah, can I shut off autocorrect I'm on a desktop right now. It's pretty annoying. All right, so anyway, they have these actors here, which is fantastic. I mean, these directors, so let's go over it. Juan says, I turned it off and it changed my life. That's fantastic. I love that. I'll see if I can turn it off on my phone because it's very annoying. All right, so anyway, they have Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah, who are those two guys in the middle there, they directed Bad Boys for Life, currently the most successful film of the year. However, as I talked about on Movie Math, that Chinese film, The 800, which we don't know if it actually made that much money, but it's poised to take over and be the highest grossing film of the year. So that sucks for Bad Boys for Life. But anyway, I agree, Barbie. They did a fantastic job directing that. I don't know how good of a fit they are with Ms. Marvel, to be honest with you. I mean, she does have her group of friends and they hang out in New Jersey, so I could maybe see that working. So and they're very good at action. So it makes me kind of like totally change my view of what the Ms. Marvel show is going to be. I included the picture, the version of her from the current video game, where I think the character was very good there, a tad overused. So at the point, it got to a point where you were like, I want to spend time with other Avengers. But I do like Kamala Khan quite a bit. I think she's fantastic character. The best thing about her, though, is her family. I really love her family, her Pakistani American family, and the blending of American and Pakistani culture. I think that stuff's really interesting. Although I agree with Mika, as I said in my review of the Avengers video game, I've never liked Kamala Khan's powers. I think they're a little cartoonish. She literally is like a living cartoon, and that just always takes me out of any of her stories. But I really liked her comic book. I don't read her comic book right now. It ran out of story, unfortunately. But for a while, it was fantastic. So you can go pick up the beginning of her run, and it's really, really good stuff. So anyway, these two guys are going to direct some episodes. Then also, Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy, who is the woman on the right, she is a two-time Oscar winner, but for documentary shorts. So I'm very curious about that. What are her powers again, Elliot? And Joseph said she's like Mr. Fantastic. She's kind of like Mr. Fantastic with the stretchiness, but she creates a giant fists, for instance. I've never seen Mr. Fantastic make cartoonishly large fists and punch people. So she's a little bit more like, I think, Plastic Man or Elastic Man. And it is like Elastigirl a little bit, but as I said in my review, I felt like for Elastigirl, Mrs. Incredible has more clever application of her powers than I've ever seen with Kamala Khan. I would honestly just be like, Brad Bird, I'll pay. I mean, he works Disney, Pixar. I would just go to him and be like, write me down a bunch of ways to use Kamala's powers. I will pay you for it and give you an advisory credit on the show. I would just pay him. I think that's worth $1 million, quite frankly. Or whoever came up with Mrs. Incredible's moves. I go to Pixar and be like, work with me on this. And then the other director is Mira Menon. She's on the left, and she's done a lot of television. She's done episodes of The Walking Dead, Punisher, Titans, Dirty John, which is actually a surprisingly good show on USA, and then also Outlander. So these are very good choices. They're all over the place. You're like, I've got a genre director. I've got action directors, and I've got a documentary director. And you're like, what's the through line in the show going to be? So I'm very, very curious to see how this works out. But I want to see who Kamala Khan is. So they did 2 casting announcements last week, so hopefully we'll get one soon. I'm just very excited for Kamala Khan to be brought to life. But the rest of the casting isn't just important for Kamala Khan, but the rest of her family. One of you mentioned Mina Masood. There is I forget the name of the character, but it's a Pakistani hero, like the red sash or red scarf or something. He'd be great. He'd be great in that as that character from the comic. She teams up with this cool hero from Pakistan, and there's a little bit of romantic chemistry between them. Although I think that would be tough to handle that. But considering how young they go with the Kamala Khan casting, but I would love to see him do that. That would be fantastic. So I think that this is coming together very quickly. So I'm glad to see that they're moving faster than Star Wars. Who knows when Obi-Wan's going to finally get back on track? But I would love for She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel to move along. I mean, that would be really fantastic. Matt, I don't know who I would cast as Ms. Marvel because that's the problem. There aren't enough. There's not a wide well-known selection of. I think you need someone with a Pakistani background, quite frankly, to make it seem authentic. So I need Red Dagger. Thank you. So that's the character that I think Mina Masood could play. Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight's actor will be Jewish, which I think is important as well. I think you gotta. I think there's I think it's important for the authenticity for this stuff to be reflected. I think you have to move past especially because there's just so much content right now. How do you stand out with authenticity? Nobody ever does anything just to do a good thing. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to do it that it's going to get them publicity and not hurt their show. And I think that, rightfully so, we would all just completely hammer them if they made that mistake. Kate Bishop, I hope they find out a way for Haley Steinfeld to be able to play that role because she's perfect. I did see that Falcon and Winter Soldier was delayed, but we all knew that at this point, so it's not really news. I mean, they're only just started filming, picking up on filming, and it's almost the end of the year. So there's no way that it's going to be ready until 2021. Diego, I believe WandaVision will be released in December. I don't know why some foreign Disney Plus place put October 30th on it. That's the day The Mandalorian debuts, and Disney's not going to have 2 shows going simultaneously because they don't have enough shows. So I don't see it happening. Oh, that's right. Loki was already filming, so I don't know. I'm not sure, Cecilia. I don't know if Loki is finished or not. All right. So those are the 3 stories of the day. Let me get rid of that. So it's 5:38. You can ask me anything you'd like, and let's just do until a clean 5:50. And then I will post the Crudes stuff. So you can ask me anything you'd like until 5:50. Oh, to Movie Lover, my Crudes trailer reaction is going up right after this. Derek says, Harley Quinn season 1 was so awesome. Starting season 2 tonight. Are you excited for season 3? Am I? I just recently restarted watching Harley Quinn because I just love it so much and I wanted something like quick to watch that I didn't feel like I needed to binge. And so I enjoy when I'm having like some breakfast or something. I just want something short. I just watch some Harley Quinn on HBO Max and it's delightful. So good. Holds up really well. I didn't see Rami Youssef's Emmy tweet. I'll have to go take a look at it. Keith says, I started The Boys this year and the seasons blend together for me. Yeah, I'm not enjoying The Boys as much this season. I don't feel like it's going anywhere. I feel like it feels like it's spinning its wheels to me, quite frankly. What do you guys think of the current season of The Boys? Don't put any spoilers, but are you enjoying it? I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Colin says, The Boys got bad. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I just don't like it as much as I did before. Moviegoer 727 says it doesn't help that it's weekly. Yeah, I think that's a problem. And also, Caesar, I agree. I don't like the deep storyline. Every time we go to the deep storyline, I'm like, what? This isn't going anywhere. I mean, it was kind of cool when they introduced a church leader who is a well-known Goran Visnik, right, or whatever. I love that actor. But I'm like, there's only 3 episodes left, and this is as far as we've gotten with this, you know? Lloyd's really loving it, though, so good for you, Lloyd. I am curious about Stormfront, but it's just moving too slowly. I don't like this whole 7 movie. I think that, like, if it had come out all at once, I think that, we would know where they were going, and I think we would probably enjoy it more. As I said in my first review for the first 3 episodes, it's not written for a weekly release pattern. Also, I agree. I actually really don't like Stormfront either, and I don't like Homelander with Stormfront, and it's making me not like Homelander as much. So it's like problematic. MMB says, thoughts on Julia Garner as Rogue in MCU's X-Men. I like Julia Garner. She doesn't really look like Rogue to me, but she certainly has the attitude, so I'd be interested in that. Glalie Master says, Queen Maeve is so underused. It's ironic now that when I think of that, they're making fun of how they're, selling her for her LGBT position within the show, but the show's actually doing that because that's all her storyline actually is. So even though it's doing it to show that that's a negative, they haven't given her anything else. So she is still one-dimensional. Let's see here. By the way, I got back into Raised by Wolves because of the season 2 announcement. It's so amazing. I just love it. And Saturday, I watched all 5 episodes that I had to go. I couldn't believe it. 5 hours, and I loved it. I'm going to watch the other 3 tonight because I have screeners. Hey, Jared. And I will review the whole season when it ends. I haven't seen Cobra Kai, Priya, but my parents started watching it, and they were like, are you watching Cobra Kai? And I'm like, you guys love it too? And they're like, We love it so much. My parents never binge anything, and they've just been just going through Cobra Kai like no tomorrow. They also like Ted Lasso, which I also really like. Ted Lasso is great, but I hate its weekly thing as well. Chico says, what are my thoughts on the Beauty and the Beast ride in Tokyo Disneyland? Well, if you didn't see it, that ride opened today or yesterday, and a lot of video went up about going on the ride. And since who knows how long it's going to take for them to get this ride built anywhere that I can go to it, I decided to ride it by watching a video. And I thought that the scale of the ride and the production design and the technology were phenomenal. I felt story-wise, the ride was really lacking, and I felt cheated out of too many famous elements from the movie. So I respected what the ride accomplishes, but I think from an entertainment perspective, I thought it was surprisingly weak. Hey, Armando, thanks for joining. Diego, I don't think the Zootopia Land is finished yet. I think they just opened their Beauty and the Beast Fantasyland section. I think Victoria Pedretti for Rogue, Sean, is a good idea. Keith says, would you like Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau to meet? Sure. I mean, Kamala Khan is a fangirl. She's going to meet everybody. But I get a little bit worried. I don't want Kamala Khan to be too fangirly. I think she over fangirled in the Avengers video game. I think it's important to have other elements of her persona. I don't want her just to be like the meta character. Oh, I'm glad you asked, Sean. The Tom Hardy rumors for James Bond are not true. I've checked. Because, I didn't think they were true because they're not going to cast the role while Daniel Craig is still technically James Bond. He's going to have to officially be retired, and then they'll move on to recasting it. So Tom Hardy has not been cast as Bond. I don't know why everybody covered that. Chris, I think it's going to be so long before you get an Eternals trailer because they don't know when Black Widow's coming out. I mean, Eternals might now be pushed until like May. Priya, I agree. Henry Cavill should be James Bond. Far more. I think that Tom Hardy is already Venom. And also, Tom Hardy has not done so well with bringing in ticket sales for the most part in other areas. So I really think that Henry Cavill has proven to have such a potent fan base. I think it's a slam dunk that he should be James Bond. Like, if he's not James Bond, I mean, the only thing that could stop him from doing it, I heard that the Bond producers land and feel that Idris Elba's now aged out of the role, unfortunately. So it's real. I think Henry Cavill should get it, but I feel like the only thing that would keep him from doing it is if he can continue to be Superman. So we'll see how that continues. Let's see here. No, Henry Cavill's. No, I want a grittier Wolverine. I'll be really curious to see what Kevin Feige decides to do. He really wants to throw a lot of cool characters into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Hey, Jack Franklin. And he would like to get Hugh Jackman for one round. That would be phenomenal. And I don't see how Hugh Jackman can turn that down. I mean, it's hard for Hugh Jackman, he said, to get into Wolverine shape at this point. But I'm sure he could find a way to be in to take the role one last time so that he could be in the MCU. I think I would really love to see it. I don't care if it's old man Logan. Like even older Logan than he was in the Logan. It would make me so happy. Zac Efron is looking very Wolverine-y these days. I agree. Let's see here. Oh, that's funny, John. Deadpool could maybe show up in the Multiverse of Madness, and he could show up with Hugh Jackman's old man Logan. Because, of course, they're friends in real life. That would be funny. Hey, Francisco, I'm doing good. Happy Monday. Here. Mika, I like Riz Ahmed a lot, but I just don't think he's a big enough star for Bond. Let's see here. Chris says, what are the chances WandaVision could get Emmy nominations? I think very good. I think that it looks like a very smart show. So let's see how it actually looks when it comes out. But I think, Marvel is, as I said in my trailer breakdown, Marvel is crystal clear in what they're trying to accomplish. And I feel like That's really that shouldn't be underappreciated. Sean, I love Sam Claflin, but I also think it's been too long for him. He's just not fresh enough. I'm a big Sam Claflin fan, but I think he's at the point where he will excel the most in supporting roles. Sean says, what are your thoughts on the Batman filming again? I'm glad that it's getting started again. I hope they're being careful. I don't know how seriously Robert Pattinson maybe takes things, but I hope it goes well. I hope everyone's safe. Elizabeth Johnson says, what's the next watch along? Hitchcock, maybe. Maybe. Let me make my notes that I need a watch along movie. I'd like to do a Halloween movie. Maybe we could watch that stupid Adam Sandler one. Hey, It Mentor. We have 2 minutes left. Let's see here. Who asked that? Barbie says, do you think we'll get a trailer soon for the Suicide Squad? I don't think so, because it doesn't come out until August of next year. It's just way too early. Lena says, Grace, have you seen the TV spot for Wonder Woman 1984 that was released a few days ago in the mall, and the new clip of Wonder Woman with her golden armor in action? I did see those very brief clips. I thought that the armor looked a little weak. I hope that the action looks better in the actual movie. It looks very much, like I said before, if people have some Barbie dolls and they're like, boo, 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 and that's fine for me, but I don't know how it's going to do with a lot of people. Brian says, do you think Tenet could overperform in streaming? I think I really feel strongly about what I said about economics and movie math yesterday. I feel people just don't want to spend money right now. So I think you have a situation where I think people are like, I waited this long. Why don't I just wait till I can rent Tenet instead of buy it? I mean, although it seems to be a movie that you need to watch so many times to get, but I mean, I'm not going to watch Tenet multiple times. I mean, whatever I get from the first viewing is going to be it. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, it's 5:50. All right, everybody, I'm going to post my Croods 2 trailer reaction. I hope you had a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow at around, 4-ish for Tuesday's live stream. Okay, everybody, have a great day.